Michelle and Clay's brand new RV has spent more time in the shop than on the road. After just 2 trips in over a year, Michelle says,
"We really want this thing gone."
Hi, I'm Liz. I help people stuck in an RV nightmare. This channel is dedicated to waking up the RV industry so they'll take care of their customers. I've been able to get 12 buybacks, numerous cash settlements, and factory repairs. This is all thanks to you for liking, subscribing, and sharing, making this channel the force that it is. Today, Michelle and Clay share their disappointing experience of buying a brand new travel trailer.
We bought our first camper in 2022, which we bought used. It was only a year old when we bought it. We had no issues with it. There's 4 of us camping, Clay and I and the 2 grandkids. We picked out this Salem Cruise Light 2024 brand new camper.
We purchased this in August of 2024 at Adventure Camper in Almo, Kentucky.
The kids had their own room. The bunks were on opposite sides. It had a couch. They had their own TV. Clay and I had the king-size bed. It was versatile, so we like to sit up and watch TV. We go back to pick it up on August the 2nd, get it home. The very next afternoon, we go to open up the slide, and it's doing this jerking, stopping, which it had done when we did our final walkthrough, but the salesman with Adventure said, "Oh, I hit the wrong button." So we didn't think anything about it, So Monday morning, first thing, I call them. We take it back. That Friday, they replaced a relay switch. We got it back the 23rd. September the 1st, we had to take it back again because the slide was jumping and jerking still. That time they replaced the slide switch, the switch that makes it work. We're supposed to leave to go on vacation. We're trying to get it packed up, ready. Well, the slide is jerking again. So we get the phone and we record it.
After watching this and other RV nightmares, you may be afraid to buy an RV. And I get it. Yet, if you go to any lake, mountain, or beach, you will see campgrounds full of people enjoying RV life. That's why I polled my audience of nearly 200,000 people and asked which RVs you can trust and which you should run away from. I put the results in an RV buyer's guide with over 170 brands. The buyer's guide is on sale right now, an early bird special of 40% off. You can find out more about the buyer's guide here or just go to the link and check it out.
Okay.
Stop.
Yep.
Stop. When the slide has its issues with stopping, it would start and it would last for about 2 seconds and it would just totally stop. We'd let the button off, let it sit for a second, start pulling it back in, it would move about a foot and stop. We thought at the time the motor had to cool off, and the motor was dragging quite a bit, like it was having difficulty pulling the slide in.
We have an actual RV plug at our house. They're like, well, maybe it's something with your plug. Unplug it from that. This is on battery only.
Stop.
Not connected to our power. Stop again. Well, unplug it for that. Hook the truck up to it. So Clay would go get the truck and he'd hooked it up, and then we ran into the slide again. And each time they're having us do this, it's just getting slower and slower and stopping more and dragging more. So the last time, about 6 inches in, it just died. The motor died, it wouldn't do anything. Told them what had happened. And well, they don't have a service tech. They were all at some camping event. So we have to pay somebody to come out here and look at it on a Friday night or a Saturday to get the slide in and get it back to them, which is about 35-40-minute drive. And we may or may not be reimbursed for that. So, or we could do it ourselves. So they sent videos, told us it would only take 2 people to push that slide in. That was funny because it took all 4 of us to push that slide in.
You had to unlock the motor, which is underneath the slide, and it's a very tight quarters to get under there and physically unlock that motor. We were finally able to get our grandson to reach under there and get it unlocked, and then it took all four of us to push it back in, and then you have to re-engage that lock, which is even more difficult once the slide is in. Really, he was the only one who could possibly fit under there to re-engage that lock, so you could lock it for travel purposes, and then we were able to get it back to them.
I mean, they knew we were coming Saturday morning to bring it back. When we got there, there was no service people there. They closed at 12. We got up early. We were there probably, 9 a.m.? Which salesman was it? Trevor was there, and he came out. He tried to work the slide with it hooked up to the truck. He then said maybe it was our cord, so he hooked it up to their power there at the dealership with their cord, and it was still dead. But in the warranty repairs, every one of them, they state that it never does it for them. I had already emailed Forest River Salem that this was the third time, it's been back there for the same issues with the slide. So Forest River has been made aware of this issue with the slide since September of 2024. They replaced a resettable fuse and that it was working and that we could come get it. So we go, and I could tell really big time at the slide bottom is supposed to be up against the camper wall, but it's still gapped. I mean, there's a gap probably about like that away from the wall. They say it's where it's supposed to be. With these last 2.5 months of repairs already, we pick it up 2 days before we finally get to go on our first trip. We've already canceled this trip once. Basically, we paid for 2 trips to get to go on one.
Now, if you are shopping for a used RV, you'll definitely want to replace the mattress. But also, did you know that if you're shopping for a new RV, often those mattresses are like cardboard, even if you spend over $100,000. For the last 3 years, I have been sleeping on an RV mattress by Brooklyn Bedding. I used to wake up feeling stiff and sore, and I thought, well, that's just for, because I'm getting older. But since I've had the Brooklyn Bedding mattress, I wake up pain-free, refreshed, and I feel great. RV mattress has free shipping right to your door. It's super easy to set up, and it's fun to watch it puff up. They have a 120-night sleep trial and a limited lifetime warranty. If you're interested in an RV mattress by Brooklyn Bedding, I can get you 30% off. Just go to rvmattress.com/LizAmazing and put in the code LizAmazing and you'll save 30%. And if you're going to the Hershey RV show, stop by the rvmattress.com booth, tell them that I sent you and you'll get an extra show discount.
We leave to go on our camping trip, but the slide it's going in and out, but the motor's really loud. It's very slow, draggy, not anything like our other one was. The slide went in and out, no problems. But then that night, we've watched TV, sitting up on the versatile bed, put the bed down, get ready for bed. Clay props his pillows up, he's still watching a movie, and I go to sleep. About 1 a.m., there's a really loud pop that wakes me up. I get up and I look around and couldn't find anything, didn't smell anything, so I went back to bed.
So the next morning after we looked under the front storage compartment outside, and you could see where the frame had collapsed, and there was one board that had cracked about 3/4 of the way through, and it was all sagging.
Several of the boards had just came loose and fell down. I emailed Dave. He gave me a mobile service tech. Could not get a hold of him. We ran to Katie's and bought some stabilizer jacks. Clay put it under the bed frame to hold it up. We're not skinny people, so You know, it was like, we're not going to take any chances of tearing anything else up. So Clay slept in the bed and I slept on the couch, which was not comfortable at all. Plus, because sleeping there, the slide is still tilted and leaning. It feels like you're literally, like if you're sitting at the table or anything, like you could set a glass of water and it's going to sit like this. We pretty much had a good 2 or 3 days of not having anything else happen. We get done, we pack it up to leave. The slide comes in, but it's really still draggy. It's not stopping, it's not jerking, but it's really slow and draggy. I go back and forth with emails trying to get a hold of this technician, which is called the RV specialist in Calvert City. They had it roughly 3 weeks. The bed, they had put maybe a handful of screws in it. The broken board in the frame of the bed is still there because Clay had taken a Sharpie marker and circled the big crack in the board. Everything we asked was, well, that's all warranty would cover. And then we still had to pay like $175 or $65 in labor charges out of our pocket on a brand new camper now that's been 4 months in, that's got to be used for this whole time, one trip. We get back home. I immediately start emailing Forest River. We arrange for a Forest River service tech to come directly to our house. January 22nd, 2025. Chris, who is the Forest River tech, comes. He looks at the underneath in the compartment at the bed. He tells us all these horror stories of how many times this bed has been rebuilt on other units. Tells us it will more than likely need to go back to Indiana to be rebuilt. He said, now I can do this. I can put legs under it to hold the bed up. And I said, but then that's our only storage compartment. This unit only has one underneath storage compartment.
The one board that was cracked was left in place because in order to replace that, the whole bedroom would have to be rebuilt. So all he could do was put additional lumber to reinforce what was already broken.
He looked at the slide. He told us our best bet was to get some slide jacks and put underneath the outside slide to raise it up. Well, Clay researched all that. That's evidently a big no-no because it will mess up your slide floor majorly. So we didn't do it. He tells us that if he can get it sent back to Forest River, because he's going down to Florida to do another job, and then when he comes back through, if they'll let him stop and pick it up and take it to Indiana on his way back to have the bed rebuilt and the slide fixed. We never heard from anybody, so we're assuming they didn't want it back. So it sits out here. It's winter time. We can't use it. The beginning of April, spring break comes, so we're going to go on another trip. We head out to Prizer Point again. We get it all set up. We have no hot water. It has a tankless hot water heater on it. Clay is checking gas lines, everything that he can think of to check. We couldn't get it to work. The next morning, we got on the phone with the service manager, with Clay being an electrical engineer. They walked Clay through to get the water heater working. Somehow or another, they said rain blew in it and it was in the hose. The second night, the bed collapsed again. Not those same boards. Some other boards fell. We get our jacks back out and put them back under there. When we go to leave, the slide is like barely. So my grandson goes out and he's pushing as I'm pushing the button to help it so we can get it in. We schedule it to go to Riley's RV, who is a local dealer, but they can't get us in until May 23rd. So we have not seen our camper since May 23rd of 2025. It has been sitting at Riley's. When the guy at Riley's, when we dropped it off, he walked around with us. He could tell the slide was leaning outwards. He could tell the slide was unlevel. He could feel there's a soft spot in the floor, main floor. in front of the bathroom.
On the outside, if you look, the slide is kind of sticking out a few inches, so there's an open gap. Obviously, the slide was not set in there evenly.
There is water damage to the walls in the slide. There is water damage to the floor in the slide. There is a window leaking, and this is all just in the slide. They were going to replace the floor. Hopefully that would clear up some of the other issues. Even if it's a brand new unit, have it inspected. Ask if there's been any warranty claims on it. One of those was something about the slide that it was dented in at the top corner or something. Warped. I think it said warped. Other than 2 trips, which totaled 15 days, our camper has either been in service or waiting for service appointments. We've paid on this thing for a full year now. We have lost money. We've paid money out of pocket. We've got a 40-something thousand dollar camper and can't even use it and enjoy it, which is the purpose of it.
Forest River offered to take it back to the factory for repairs, to pay them $1,900 towards the $4,100 that they paid in payments, and to extend their warranty. But they wanted them to sign a service agreement.
We asked for a copy of the service agreement that we're supposed to
Yes,
sign.
we have still not got it. I said, so basically you want me to send my camper back to Indiana to the same factory that built it in the first place that didn't do it right the first time. I said, this isn't something new that you're just learning about. Forest River has known about these same issues with this camper since September of 2024. It was offered to go back in January to Indiana. They didn't want to take it then. Now that we've missed a whole year paid on this thing, now you want to take it? That there's water damage? With all the issues and the loss of time and everything over the last year, who's to say there's not mold in those walls? We really want this thing gone. We don't want to mess with it anymore. We don't want to take any more chances. We really just want a buyback. We want Forest River to take this thing, give us our money back.
Michelle and Clay did not feel comfortable having it go back to the factory for repairs, especially with having to sign that service agreement. So the local dealer is repairing it. That is Raleigh's. Forest River says if they're not happy with those repairs, the offer is still open for it to go back to the factory, but apparently a buyback is not an option. What do you think Forest River should do? Let me know in the comments. Thanks so much for watching, and remember to check out my buyer's guide. It is on sale as an early bird special for a limited time only for 40% off. I'll see you in the next video.